We insist on having a first-class configured aircraft. That's really important. It's really important that we stay on time, on schedule with everything. We want to be able to get on the plane and leave. Being in South Florida, there aren't really very many quick trips for us.
Even if the next day is a day off, it doesn't matter. We try to get everything done before we go home. Sometimes that's late, sometimes that's 4 or 5 in the morning, and that can wear on you a little bit.
I like life on the road because it's pretty much like at home. I'm not leaving a wife and kids back in Florida where a lot of guys are, so you know, maybe they prefer the one-game trips.
Uncle Gary, nice to see you. Matt, what's up?
Obviously we support the battle, but then we were aware of what's going on behind you.
That's the ultimate goal, is to make sure the team is prepared so when they do hit the ice on the road, they are ready to go.
Hello again, everybody. I'm Craig Benavides, and welcome to a very special edition of Inside the Panthers. This time, it's life on the road with the Cats. You know, traveling around the National Hockey League is the most complex of any of the pro sports leagues in the United States. While the NBA has 1 team north of the border, the NHL has 6 franchises that play in Canada. And the travel spans from Florida to California, from Vancouver to Montreal. Now, throw in frosty conditions, an 82-game very busy schedule, and the hard-nosed sport of ice hockey, and as you can see, it can become quite complex for the players to travel. So who handles it all? Well, for the Florida Panthers, it's in the hands of a 29-year-old product from Rhode Island's Roger Williams University.
My title is Coordinator of Team Services, and it's hard to narrow it down to just a few things that you do, but I guess the bulk of it is I do all the travel, which means you know, booking the air charter, booking the buses, doing the hotels, the practice ice, the equipment transfers, and I coordinate all the immigration for the guys. As you know, we have a lot of Eastern Europeans and Canadians, and you know, right now we only have 1 American, so it makes traveling to other, you know, to Canada a little tricky at times. But and you help the guys with relocation and tickets and things like that. There's no way to really prepare for every contingency because things will happen that you don't expect. So most important thing, I guess, is you just got to kind of keep your cool. And I guess you learn there's a solution to everything. It's just a matter of figuring it out. The requirements for the charter, I mean, I suppose we're a little high maintenance. Like, we insist on having a first-class configured aircraft. That's really important. It's really important that we stay on time, on schedule with everything. We want to be able to get on the plane and leave. Being in South Florida, there aren't really very many quick trips for us. And if we play a game, if we're playing in Boston and it's a 7:30 game, we won't leave Boston until 11:30. It's a 2.5, 3-hour flight. It's important that we get back. We get the guys on the plane, takes off on time. And I'd say the third most important thing are the meals. We travel with both a strength and conditioning coach and a head medical trainer that are both nutritionists, and they work really closely with the Miami Air staff to make sure that the food is all organic and prepared to pretty specific requirements that they set down. So it's really important that those are met.
It's a challenge, certainly. It's very demanding, and they're a very demanding customer, and rightfully so. They're paying for a premium service, and we'd like to be able to provide it to them, so it's a challenge for us. It's not necessarily the same crew, but we do have 2 dedicated reps that fly with the team all the time, and from city to city to game, and those 2 reps are primarily there with them, dedicated to the Panthers to attend to their specific needs.
The Florida Panthers have found this a home away from home, as the Florida Panthers have been able to keep the very talented young Pittsburgh Penguins at bay.
Hockey Hall of Famer and Panthers TV analyst Dennis Potvin and former Panther player and now radio broadcaster Randy Moeller both say travel has changed drastically from their playing days.
For example, when I played in Quebec, when I broke into the league, for us to fly to Los Angeles, we had to take usually four planes. We'd have to go from Quebec City to Montreal, Montreal to Toronto, Toronto to Chicago, and Chicago into Los Angeles. That was how we got to Los Angeles. Nowadays, you jump on the plane in Fort Lauderdale, you're in LA in 4.5 hours, just like that, and same thing coming home. So I think the game is better now. The players are able to perform at a higher level on the ice because there's not that massive fatigue and jet lag that we suffered through years ago.
The old expression of hurry up and wait used to be for us, get to the airport and wait for your flight. Sometimes it was delayed, sometimes not. Sometimes seats were blocked out at the back of the plane in the smoking section back then. But now things have gotten much better. We drive right onto the tarmac, onto the private jet, and off we go. So that may be the biggest change amongst many others.
They take away all the excuses, they take away all the troubles. That's the ultimate goal, is to make sure the team is prepared so when they do hit the ice on the road, they are ready to go.
That's the best part of the job is when at the end of the day everything's gone well and the team is happy and the coaches are happy, and that's, you know, that's when the job's going well. There's no better job. At the end of the day, I'm watching hockey for a living, so definitely could be worse.
Might be a little easier on the traveling and going the whole way there for one game and coming back, but you know, those are things you have to deal with and you have to play through them and you know, be a professional about it.
We welcome you back to Inside the Panthers. You know, travel in the NHL has changed over the years. Used to be buses, railroads halfway across the country, commercial flights. Now, everything is chartered and first class, and the Panthers do whatever they can to ensure the comfort and convenience for the players. Still, with 41 road games, it does take its toll, and each player has his own individual approach to life on the road.
I'm lucky my wife's in the horses, so she kind of takes care of them when I'm gone. I also have a hand that works out here too, and you know, she'll turn them out and bring them in and feed them. And so my wife and her will kind of work as a team when I'm gone, so I'm lucky to have them. I'll let them out, and then we'll let out a couple other horses, and then we'll get ready to go here. This one's just a day trip, so obviously not as much preparation as far as getting clothes together or anything of that nature, but the flight's going to be about 3 hours to there, so you know, I made sure my wife Amber plugged in my computer so I can watch some movies while I'm on the flight, bring a couple magazines, you know, and then obviously you gotta make sure you got boxers, socks, you know, some things like that.
I got up at about 8:30. It took a second to get out of bed, so I was out of the room at about 9 or 10 to 9. Went down and had some breakfast. Walked over here at about 9:30. Lucky day, you're getting on TV.
Is this for Panthers Insider?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll watch that.
There you go.
Pretty neat show.
In Pittsburgh, I mean, we're not far from a lot of other cities that we would play in our conference, and so, I mean, I think it makes a lot more sense if we were to knock off a few teams playing up here, you know, go on the road for a week or however long, instead of just sort of 3 hours in and 3 hours out the next day. It can be a little bit taxing, but nonetheless, that's just the way the schedule is, and it's not perfect, and everyone has to deal with it. But I mean, yeah, I mean, you know, for me, I like life on the road because it's pretty much like at home. I'm not leaving my wife and kids back in Florida where a lot of guys are, so, you know, maybe they prefer the one-game trips. We got to cross the street here, so let's pay some attention. Like I say, it's okay for me to be on the road for, you know, a number of days. I mean, I'm not leaving people back in Florida, you know. right, I think we can go. Came in and obviously taped my sticks. We're on the ice at 11:30, so we'll have a 10:45 meeting. That'll last, anywhere from 5 to 15 minutes, depending. For me, I'll probably when I get done here, I'm going to go ride the bike and start to warm up, and then go to the meeting. And then after the meeting, if I can continue to warm up for practice, I will. Otherwise, probably just come right on the ice. That's how it's done. I get out of here about 12:30. I'll walk back over to the hotel. Go to the hotel. We're on our way there now. Get something to eat. Get some pregame. And then I'll go to my room, and my roomie and I will take a nap. Watch some TV for a little bit. I think we can make it. We hurry. Take a nap for a couple hours. Get up at 4:10 today. It's a 7:30 game. We'll get up at 4:10 and get another bite to eat. So it's pretty regimented. I mean, it's not, to the minute, but certain things, you have to be at a certain place at a certain time. And I like to take a nap because it breaks the day in half. About 4:30, come over to the rink. So here we're in one of the oldest rinks, if not the oldest rink in the league, home of the Penguins, Mellon Arena. And then if I have to retape some sticks that I've used in practice this morning, I'll do that. Any minor injuries or just things I need to work on, loosen up, I'll tend to that. After that, a bunch of us will do a dynamic warm-up of some running around or get on the bike and loosen up. The trainers are working around with some guys. It's a lot of work. It's a game day, it's a process, it's a full day process. But it's fun. I mean, game days are the best. You come to the rink, and I mean, this is my job, and so and then, play the game over at 10, 10:30, depending. Bus is usually maybe a half hour after that, maybe 45 minutes, depending. Bus to the airport, get on the plane, go home, get in bed, and wake up and do it all again tomorrow.
For rookie winger David Booth, who has been to and from the minors several times this season and lives in a South Florida hotel, he got a little slice of home on this trip to Pittsburgh.
Uncle Gary, nice to see you. Matt, what's up? Tuts, you get over.
Booth's family traveled from his home state of Michigan to see him.
This is my Uncle Gary. This is her dad. This is Andrea. And that's my cousin. And this is my brother Matthew. And this is my little sister Rachel, the best hockey player out of all the Booths. The best one. So, and then here, this is my mom. Hi, Mom. And this is my dad. My dad, good, yeah.
It takes more than just parents to raise a son. We appreciate all the mentoring that he gets on the road from the coaches and older players, so it's a great deal.
Hopefully, in the 2 or 3 days prior to that, we've done enough preparation that the actual day of travel is fairly easy.
We are back on Inside the Panthers, Life on the Road. 5,000 sticks, 8,000 pucks, 2,000 pairs of skate laces. Would you believe? 20,000 rolls of tape. That's what the Panthers use in a given season. And moving all this gear from game to game, place to place, is the job of the Panthers equipment staff.
The equipment staff for the Panthers consists of myself and 2 assistants, Chris Moody and Rob Kennedy. When we arrive in a city, the home team will provide a truck and they'll meet us at the plane. Probably one of their assistants will be driving the truck. They'll help unload the equipment from the airplane. And then myself and Chris Moody, my assistant who will be with me on the trip, will drive with that truck to the arena and we'll start to set up. Probably takes us 2-3 hours to get everything set up, for the next day.
I always wanted to play hockey growing up, so I guess this would be the next best thing. I wasn't good enough to play with these guys, so this is the next best thing. Just being around the guys and being in that environment and getting paid to be around the game of hockey is just awesome. It's so much fun. We all have our roles to accomplish every day. I mean, but we all kind of strive to do it together, you know, as long as everything gets finished. That's the main thing. It doesn't matter who does what. As long as we get through the day and get these guys on the ice, and we're happy.
I came from being a head equipment manager in the minor leagues, and it was a tough adjustment for me to come and kind of relearn this job that I'm in now. And a bigger adjustment than I thought it would be, but you know, it ends up working out okay. You know, we all know our roles, we all do our parts. You know, you'll see us all, it's like a well-oiled machine. You know, we all